What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Frankie Bones, and in today's video we are going to be doing a tier list for all of the CDL maps and modes that are being played right now in the middle of Major 3. Now, I know that there have been some discussions on the flank as well as some other places talking about maybe adding a new control map or just another map to add to the rotation. But for now, we're just going to ride with what we have. We have El Silo Control and Search. We have Embassy Hardpoint and Search. We have Fortress Control Hardpoint Search. We have Hotel Control Hardpoint Search. We have Hydro Hardpoint. And to wrap it up, we have Mercado Hardpoint and Search. Now, I figured that this would be a pretty fun video now that we have ranked play and people are really buzzing on that and getting pretty familiar with all of the maps. So without further ado, let's just hop right into this. If you guys enjoy this video, please feel free to drop a like, as well as comment if you guys disagree with any of my choices. Although I feel like you're going to see there's a pretty common trend throughout. But again, let's just hop right into the tier list. So we're just going to go in order as they're listed here on the tier list. I actually made this one, so if you guys want to do it yourself, obviously feel free to check it out. Head over to Tier Maker and type in COD MW2 CDL map mode tier list. So starting out with El Silo Control, it's pretty fair, I would say. Definitely want defense. I'm going to put this one in B. I feel like it's pretty average to start off. We're going to go back through when we finish the tier list as well to figure out where everything sort of lies. But for now, we'll put it in B. I sort of enjoy playing it. You know, it's the second best control. So ultimately, when that comes up instead of Fortress, relatively happy about it. So put it in D. I'm ranking these all based on playability of the map itself in the game mode, spawn logic, objective locations, and CDL opinions of the maps themselves, obviously in addition to how I feel about the maps overall. So moving on to El Silo S and D, I'm actually going to put this one in B as well. I'm actually going to put this over the control. It can be a little bit weird, obviously all of the search and destroys. Guess we had to do it that way. I guess all the search and destroys obviously have the one plant and spawn for each team. It's relatively fair. You can obviously bang out the bomb site inside of the building, and some late round plays can obviously be pretty fun as well. Moving on to Embassy Hardpoint. I'm putting this one up in S tier. I think that this is one of the favorite maps of the pros. I think the spawns make almost complete sense. You can block on this map for basically every hill, as long as you know sort of how the spawns are going to come about, whether they're split spawns or true spawns. So I'm going to put this one in S. I enjoy playing it myself. Very playable. And I think outside of, P1, all the objectives are pretty fair. Just really not a lot of time on P1, which we see as a trend throughout all these maps in Hardpoint. So for Embassy S and D, this one I'm going to be the first one to put it in A. I think personally, a little bit of a spoiler, I think this is the best S and D map, so nothing's going to be higher than A for S and D. I think that it does have its flaws. Obviously, you have the cross nades over to court. But once you have a trophy, you can really make things work and get that bomb down quickly on the site. So I'll put this one in A. I enjoy playing it. Lots of different ways to play this map as well for ARs and snipers and subs alike. So we'll slot that in A for now. Next, really should have added an F tier just for a Silo Control, but it's just absolutely brutal. I'm going to be putting up some Control Fortress gameplay in the near future, but the spawn trap is just ridiculous. Nothing you can do. It's not fair, not playable. The pros really don't enjoy playing it unless they're just, one of the mixy teams. But Yeah, D. Moving on to Fortress Hardpoint. I'm actually going to put this one towards the back of B. So it's very mixy, which I definitely enjoy. It in some ways reminds me of Bocage Hardpoint a little bit from Vanguard. Very mixy, but the reality of the situation is it's just sort of a mixy map. You can block on this map. You can obviously get trapped, but not as hard as in the control. There are some true money hills on this map. So we'll leave it at the end of B for now. We're going to do it within the tiers as well to where we're ranking everything. So we'll have to revisit. May bump it down to C, but for now I sort of like it at back of B. I'm obviously a hardpoint player. Love playing the HPs. I think control is, one of the worst game modes in the game. They've really struggled to come up with that third game mode since sort of the jetpacks. When they had uplink was awesome. Capture the flag really worked. But without footsteps here, I think it's really tough to add in some of those game modes. But, we'll leave the Fortress Hardpoint in B. As we keep rolling, we have Fortress Search. I'm going to slot this into C. Really not too much creativity going on, I feel like, in some of these rounds. On the attacking side, I feel like a lot of times you're going to have to work over towards the stage to try and get that bomb down. And on defense, you're really just trying to hold open or closed. You can bang inside of low art. You can do the single hop. But really, you're only playing on one side of the map. We haven't seen too many teams in the CDL go to the B-bomb site, I believe, which is back over towards top circle behind maps where P3 is essentially on the fountain. But I think there's not a lot of creativity. Teams really don't enjoy playing it, and I don't enjoy playing it either. So I'm going to slot it into C. As we keep rolling, we have Hotel Control. I'm actually going to put this one into A tier. Obviously, we already have the other controls on the board, so my favorite control mode is Hotel. I think that it's definitely the most fair. It's about a 50-50 win percentage, maybe a little bit higher for offense. Teams are really starting to figure this map out. It's really about getting stacks on offense on that opening break. Really, really important. Whether you're going towards A or B, to be able to get those quick ticks in, and before teams are able to get established on defense. Defensive-wise, teams are learning how to, or already know how to, and they're executing. Getting pushed up, manipulating those spawns, and putting your team in the best spot to win the map. I think that it's the most fair. Definitely for guys like me still working on figuring out how to set up on defense and hold that. When it's just solo B or A, I know how to manipulate the spawns, but ultimately those holds, communications are super important on this map. I'm going to put it in A tier. We'll obviously see where it slots in within the tier compared to the other maps. Now for our next map, we're going to stay at Hotel Hardpoint. I'm actually going to put this one in S tier as well. So very similar to Embassy, I think that the spawn logic makes a ton of sense. I think that, honestly, all the hard points are in pretty good locations. The P1s in this game are just super mixy, so obviously being in the middle can be tough, but you do see a lot of teams valuing the P2 time over P1. But at the end of the day, picking up those big seconds is huge. So if you're able to get a quick 20 off of that and then try and break onto P2, could be pretty massive. I enjoy playing it. Again, I sort of like the hardpoint locations, and overall, I just think that Hotel is the favorite map of the CDL Pros. Could definitely be wrong, but we're going to slot it up in S. I think it's very even with Embassy. At the end, we'll see if we want to flip those around, but for now, I think Embassy Hardpoint is kind of my favorite map to play. Although Hotel, definitely a close second. But we'll see where everything else lines up here as we finish off the list. So now we have Hotel S and D. Kind of an interesting one, but I think that I'm going to put this I'm gonna put this in B. I'm gonna obviously put this. You know what? I'm gonna drop this down into C. Definitely over the search, but I like hotel search here. We'll put it there. So I like this over the LCLO control, but I like it in B for some reason because I think that there's more room on the map to be able to make plays. You know, with Deady Popped, you're really able to run around the map, hit flanks on sites. You know, we see a fairly even number of bombs going down at both sites, although obviously the one is closer over towards in B control. Front P3, sort of bottom bed area. But I like it there. I enjoy playing it. You know, you can't really run the sniper, so it's definitely just an AR and sub map. I mean, you could play top lights or D2 on P3. You can play that outer side of P4 and look top bed or top lights, but can't say that I dislike playing it. Search is just obviously really a force in this game with the footsteps. I'm an AR player, so obviously I'm most times running a trophy. In ranked play recently, I've been running Deady when I'm playing Search, which definitely is pretty big, but for now, I think I'm going to leave it. You know what? Let's slot it ahead of LCLO, actually. Let's do that. And again, we'll revisit all this again once we finish up the list. Next, we have Hydro Hardpoint. I think I'm going to put this... Let's do that. So we'll put it between the fortresses. Overall, I think this map is pretty cheese. I think that it's very difficult to read spawns. I mean, I've been trying really hard to work on the spawns. So I'm kind of playing the main on our team this year, which I haven't done in the past, but just with a lot of spawn knowledge, and I feel like I'm probably the player that comes most on our team. It's important for me to be able to be in a position to be able to communicate with the players, make plays, be on the rotation, things like that. Sort of difficult to do on Hydro. There's a lot of close range interactions, so the Vaz can dominate pretty heavy, but as well there's some pretty godly headies like God Rock, Top Dome, Top Window on P3, some areas like that, but I think that we'll slot it into C. I like Fortress Hardpoint a little bit more just because it's more mixy and more predictable, but at the same time, when that Hydro Hardpoint pops up in ranked play, definitely not mad about it as long as I got the boys with me and we can grind through some comms, make it as easy as possible, and catch the dub. Now, wrapping things up, we are down to Mercado. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take Mercado and I'm going to put this... Do I like that? Yeah, I like that. Let's put Mercado here at the top of the A tier. I think that it is my second or third favorite hardpoint at the moment. Kind of don't want to load too much into the S tier. We'll see where we end up putting Mercado Search. Definitely not an S, obviously, but it's definitely one of my favorites is the thing. You know what, let's put it up in S just for shits and gigs for right now. So I really do enjoy it. I think that Mercado Hardpoint and Hotel are pretty close for me. It's definitely a map that I enjoy, playing probably the second most, but that doesn't mean that it's the best. Obviously, I want to take my opinions into it, but also want to take the opinions of the CDL pros. You know what? Let's drop it back down. Let's not be selfish with the list, just talking about things that I like. But I think that Mercado is very fair. The one thing that I will knock it for is that it has 7 hard points, so can mess up the rotations a little bit in terms of the flow of the players, where to expect people. I think there's just something about, there being 5 hard points on the map. You want to be able to rotate, through those hills pretty quickly and sort of flip the map back on itself. I think that At times, they can be a little weird. Talking about P6 and P7. P6 is top Cantina or top green, and P7 is over by RV. That's just kind of one where you can chain pretty easily and pretty easy to hold as well. You can have one back alley, you can have one watching mid, and you can have one on RV watching blue or T. Some of it can be a little bit cheese, but as we continue to play it more, the spawns are pretty predictable. Overall, I'd say the objectives are kind of fine. I think you could definitely take out 2 of the hard points. I think you could take out 1 of the cantinas. I'd say probably the top one. I kind of like the mixiness of being down below in bottom cantina, and you can probably take out P5, which is front 10 in the courtyard. You know, obviously you already have the hard point on 10, so I think if you took those out, it would definitely be an S tier map, but overall I like it. The pros like it. It's pretty fair. Spawns are relatively readable, so we'll put it there in A tier. And to wrap it up, we have Mercado Search. I think compared to where some of these other maps are, I think I'm going to have to put it maybe end of B. I'm not sure, because it's definitely above Fortress Hardpoint, Hydro Hardpoint. I think we'll do this. How about we swap it there? You know, obviously I'm definitely not a fan of Control. 1 at the end of B, 1 in D, obviously. And then the highest one being A, which, you know, definitely end of A. It's sort of A minus B plus area, but just for the shapeness of the tier list, obviously we're going to have to keep it there. But sort of just looking through, I'll read these all back to you guys, just make sure it makes sense to me. We have Embassy Hardpoint, and we have Hotel Hardpoint in S. I think that makes sense. I'm going to leave it this way, Embassy being my favorite. Moving down to the A tier, we have Mercado Hardpoint, we have Hotel Search, and we have, or Embassy Search rather, and Hotel Control. I like that. Moving down to the B tier, we have Hotel Search, we have El Asilo Search, we have Mercado Search, and we have El Asilo Control. I like where that plays out. Honestly, just I personally like El Asilo Control more, which is why I have it edged out here. I think there's more chances to make plays on Mercado. It just seems like everybody's banging over towards hedges and back alley with the nades. I'm just not about that. Just a single track play, more so even than El Asilo. So we'll leave it like that. I think this list might be final, fellas. We have in the C tier, we have Fortress Hardpoint, we have Hydro Hardpoint, and Fortress Search. I think that makes sense. And then down in the D tier, obviously we have Fortress Control. So I'm going to leave it like that. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys would change, what you guys would put in S tier. Obviously, a lot of the respawns are higher for me. A lot of the hard points, obviously, our top 3 are hard points. With only 1 of the top 5 being Control and only 1 being Search. That is math. Not a math guy, but that was quick math with Frankie Bones. But again, let me know what you guys would disagree with in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video and making this tier list, please feel free to drop a like and let me know in the comments. But definitely look forward to doing more tier lists in the future, depending on what we're trying to do. But as well, obviously, bring lots of ranked play content for you guys over the coming weeks. It's really saved COD MW2 in my opinion. Obviously, it wasn't even Infinity Ward that did that, but regardless, have to tip our cap. They did do a good job of putting this in. Now we'll just have to see what we can do about this ISO Hemlock. But for now, guys, that is going to do it for this video. This has been your boy Frankie Bones, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Peace out.